Just you and me today.
I'm not sure.
Oh, not you, just me.
No, I'll be here. But the others I'm not sure.
Yeah, no problem. Others, I was looking for it. This is it. Okay, should we start? Jai Madhya Lila Pravishno Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prevrajikacharya Stotra Shada Shri Shri Madhubhaya Charanara Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Madhya Lila Pravishno Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prevrajikacharya Stotra Shada Shri Shri Madhubhaya Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Madhya Lila Pravishno Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Madhya Lila Pravishno Vishnupad Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai Nikile Pravishno Vishnupada Srila Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gauriya Vaishnava Guru Varga Ki Jai Bhakti Dev Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Dev Ki Jai Tulsi Dev Ki Jai Namakuti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Caritamrita Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol All Very Similar Hare Krishna All Very Similar Hare Krishna All Very Similar Hare Krishna All Very Shri Guru Shri Guru All Very Shri Prabhupada Okay, is it working? It's working? Yeah, Jai. Jai. Okay. So, today we are continuing on from yesterday. We were discussing, we had just concluded in the Kirtan of Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya, he was doing this very sweet Kirtan and he was celebrating that the Lord had finally been bound up by him. Again, modeling how Kirtan should be done. And so, dancing around, Mahaprabhu, he also began to feel ecstatic. And the waves and flames of his love increased. He suddenly fell to the ground. And falling to the ground, Advaita Acharya, he stopped singing and he began to be worried. And in his worry, all the devotees stopped and they all watched. And Mukunda Prabhu, he saw and he understood what was happening. It was Mahaprabhu, as we have discussed. Mahaprabhu, he fell down to the ground in pains of ecstasy, pains of separation. And in this madness, Mukunda Prabhu, he began to sing many shlokas that were to intensify this ecstasy. And singing like this, Advaita Acharya, he was worried. And in his worry, he lifted up the body of Mahaprabhu and he began to dance with that body. But the Lord, hearing these stanzas, hearing these verses being sung by Mukunda Prabhu, what recovery could there be? He kept on intensifying more and more and more into his praying. And tears then fell from his eyes and his whole body trembled. His bodily hair stood on end. He perspired heavily and his words faltered. Sometimes he stood and sometimes he fell and sometimes he cried. And then Mukunda sang, "My dear intimate friend, what has not happened to me? Due to the effects of the poison of love for Krishna, my body and mind have been severely afflicted." So he is singing, again, these are the verses he is singing. These are not the, of course this is the mood of Mukunda Prabhu, being the great devotee of the Lord. However, it is more so done, Prabhupada and Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur both say, in order to intensify that mood of Mahaprabhu. So he's saying, "My feeling is like this, my mind burdens day and night, and I can get no rest. If there's some place I could go to meet Krishna, I would immediately fly there." And saying like this, Mahaprabhu, it is said, his mind went to pieces. Because this is, of course, the effect of poetry. Poetry and music, they play a very special role. They can capture sentiment more fully than anything else. When we see a sad movie, or if we read a sad book, we can say that this movie or this poetry, it has this movie or this book, it has captured what sadness is. It has some sadness in it. But when one hears poetry or when one hears music, they will say that that itself is sadness. It has encapsulated what sadness and sorrow means. We say that a song is sad. And in this sense, the devotee is said, of all the qualities of a devotee that are listed, one of the great qualities is kavi, that they are an artist, that they are a poet. In order to capture these moods, they must in somehow have an artistic form of expression in which they can use to convey, through the means of arts, transcendental moods. It is not that Mukund Prabhu conveyed this through a philosophical treatise or through any philosophical explanation. It was through the beauty of poetry that he conveyed this mood. Elsewhere in the Caitanya Caritamrita we will read that poetry is like an arrow. It is useless if it cannot pierce into the heart. And it is even more useless that once piercing into the heart does not cause one's head to spin. So true poetry, true expressions of transcendental mellows must have this effect. Of course, when we are conditioned, we will maybe not experience the effect Mahaprabhu does, or what emotional response we do have is mere sentimentality. But nevertheless, it is not that all poetry and music and all these moods of transcendental emotion are mere sentimentalism. In fact, they are the highest and most full way of capturing the fullness of divine emotions. So, like this we hear. And then upon seeing the condition of the Lord, because he was not recovering, hearing these things, he was intensifying, tears pouring out, his body shaking. They all became very anxious. And in that moment of tension, they did not know what to do. However, with that anxiety, with that pause of the kirtan, with that pause of the recitation, the Lord immediately got up and he began to dance. And he made thundering sounds, just like we're hearing outside right now. The Lord made thundering sounds. And he said, go on speaking, go on speaking. Again, it is not that he was being tortured. It was not, even though these pains of separation seem painful, it was not a torture, it was not a pain for him. It was something that he wanted to hear. Interrupting that flow of Krishna Katha, of Krishna Kirtan, he was in pain. And therefore, that was the actual pain for Mahaprabhu. That he could not experience those pains of separation. And therefore he said, bolo bolo bole. He says, go on speaking, go on speaking. Thus he began to dance, overwhelmed with pleasure, and no one could understand the strong waves of his ecstasy. So like this continued, and Mahaprabhu was dancing and dancing and dancing until he became fully exhausted. He danced for at least 3 hours. For 3 hours at one go, he would dance before collapsing again. And he was doing like this constantly, absorbed in Krishna Prem. But because he was so absorbed in his Krishna Prem, he was always thinking about Krishna. He was always thinking about being separate from Krishna. Yes? And because his absorption was constantly in Krishna, it was not in himself. And no longer being absorbed in himself, he began to ignore the fact that his body, of course in Lila, it is not that the transcendental body of Mahaprabhu ever feels any fatigue, but in Lila, it began to be rather fatigued. And so his devotees, out of concern from him, especially Nityananda Prabhu, they caught him and they stopped him dancing. They said, you need to rest. And so he was held and suspended, and they made him lie down to rest. And after doing this, Mahaprabhu, he began to rest, and the dancing ended. And then for 10 continuous days, there was constant feasting and chanting in the evening. And in the same way, every single day, Mahaprabhu, he would dance constantly, and he would then be put to rest. However then, one morning, we now then leave this section and we enter into the two main conversations. Mahaprabhu, he is meeting Sachimata. And Sachimata, she is being brought in a palanquin by Chandrasekhar in order to meet. And so, all of the people in Nadia, they came to see this. And seeing this, they saw Sachimata arrived, and then she came to the house of Advaita Acharya. And as soon as she appeared, Mahaprabhu, he fell before her like a stick. And Mother Sachi, she began to cry. We were discussing before. She is like personifying Bhudevi. So still she was. The only movement that was coming was her tears. In the same way that Bhudevi, her only movement is the rivers on the face of the earth. In the same way, the only movement on her was her tears flowing constantly. She was in severe pain. And so, this was severe pain before seeing Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. Now seeing him again, being reminded of his sannyas roop, his form with no hair, even more so, her pains were there. And she began to cry, taking the Lord upon her lap, filled again with Vatsalya Ras. And they both became overwhelmed. And she began to be very maternal. And doing like this, she saw him and patting his head, his now shaven head. He had no sika. Even though we see our sannyasis, they have sikas. Actually, Mayavadi sannyasis, they shave their sika off as well. And they take their brahminical thread off as well. Only in Vaishnava sannyas is the brahminical thread kept on and the sika retained. And then she says, my darling Nimai, do not be cruel like Vishwarup, your elder brother. Because of course we know Vishwarup, he had taken sannyas and he had already left to go to South India. And we will read later on when we are talking about the overall structure of Madhya Lila, Mahaprabhu at one point, he goes down to South India on his South Indian tour. And the purpose of that tour was to seek out Vishwarup. And she's saying, do not be cruel. Because of course it breaks her heart. She is very, very distraught, very, very upset. There's another description given in Chaitanya Bhagavat. When Mahaprabhu was about to take sannyas, when Sachimata was telling him the final time, please do not do it, Mahaprabhu, he consoled her with a few truths. And it was only by hearing these points of philosophy that she was able to even let him leave. And these 2 points were, he said, Sachimata, you might be feeling that you'll be separate from me, that I'm going out, and then there'll be a separation between you and me. But actually, in order to inaugurate this Sankirtan mission, in order to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement, I will take 2 more avatars. I will take 2 more forms. There'll be 2 more forms that I have. And you will always be there with those 2 forms. Those 2 forms are, the first is that of the Murti. He says, I will always be there in the form of the Murti. And you will always be the mother of the Murti. Because you will be the earth from which that Murti comes from. Any earth, any materials that are used to produce a Murti of Mahaprabhu, it is said that is an expansion of Sachimata. And the other form I will take is obviously the holy name. So the name of Krishna, the name of Mahaprabhu, it's said that anyone who is chanting the name of Mahaprabhu, this is Mahaprabhu's verdict himself, their tongue is said to be a manifestation of Sachimata. Every time that Mahaprabhu appears in the form of his name or in the form of a murti, Sachimata has been the instrumental means by which he appears. In the same way as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the person himself, appeared from the womb of Sachimata, in the same way, he appears in the murti form from the earth, and in his name form from the tongue of the devotee. So like this he was speaking, and he had to make such explicit and grand expressions of the nature of his advent in order for her to even slightly permiss his going. So because of this, we can understand she was very, very distraught. And she said, do not be like Vishwarup who abandoned me, becoming a member of the renounced order. After doing this, he never again gave me audience. And therefore, Mahaprabhu, he says, don't worry, it's all right. My body belongs to you. We said again that in the form of the name, Mahaprabhu, he comes from Sachimata, the tongue, and in the form of the Murti, he comes from the form of Sachimata as the earth. In the same way, Mahaprabhu in his body came from Sachimata's womb and from the body of Sachimata. And therefore, he says, this body belongs to you. How could I deny your request? So, saying like this, he said, I will be very close to you. However, we know this is not possible in the renounced order. Sachinandan Swami says, actually, that traditionally when people took sannyas, it was in a village culture, most likely. So, after taking sannyas, after one took their danda, they would take their danda and they would walk to the gate of the village that they had grown up in, that they had lived in, where their family house was. And walking to the gate, they would take their danda and they would make a line in the entry. And making that line, they would then step over it. And having stepped over that line, it is said they would never, for the rest of that birth, they would never cross that line ever again. They would never return. It is not appropriate for a sannyasi to stay living with his mother. But this conversation does not come up fully yet. Sachimata, she cooks very nicely, and she cooks very opulently, almost more opulently than Advaita Acharya's feast. She cooks again many different preparations. And she says, how many times shall I get the chance to see Nimai again? How will I be able to? Because a sannyasi never returns to his home. She understands again the tension in Mahaprabhu's mind, that I'm not able to stay in my mother's house, but I've already told her that I will not neglect her so much. And hearing this, all the devotees offered obeisances, and they were very upset. They were very concerned. And so Mahaprabhu, he said, actually, before when you all caught me, when you all brought me here to Advaita Acharya's house, I tried to go to Vrindavan. However, there was some obstacle. He is being very nice. We know the obstacle is Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. And so he says, my plan was to go to Vrindavan, but this is contradicting Sachimata's desire. Vrindavan is very far away. So he says, then what is my problem? This is my problem. How can I resolve these things? And so then Sachimata says, this consideration is good. You should follow your sannyas dharma, now that you're a sannyasi. She says, my opinion is, if Nimai stays at Jagannath Puri, he may not leave any one of us, and at the same time can remain aloof as a sannyasi. Thus both purposes are fulfilled. He may stay close to the devotees, and he may stay close to Sachimata, but he may also live in the dham. This is one of the forms of sannyas. There's different types of renunciation, even in vanaprastha life. Vanaprasthas have more varieties, because they obviously have a tiny bit more freedom than sannyasis. But one of the forms of sannyas is that a sannyasi resides mainly in the dham. And then he spends his renounced life there. Other forms is that they travel, and so on and so forth. Some will stay in a hut somewhere, and mainly stay there, but beg. Others will have no place of residence at all. But then she says something interesting. She says, since Jagannath Puri and Navadvip are intimately related, as if they were two rooms in the same house, people from Navadvip generally go to Jagannath Puri, and those in Jagannath Puri go to Navadvip. This going and coming will help carry news of Lord Chaitanya. In this way, I will be able to get news of him. So she says here a very interesting point regarding the nature of Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri, as we know, it is the holy dham, and it's not just any holy dham. We know the pastime of its manifestation was that of Markandeya Rishi. Because Markandeya Rishi, he was, of course, a great devotee of Krishna. And being a great devotee, he had asked, he said, I've heard, studying the Shastras, I've heard the glories of this Yoga Maya. Because this Mahamaya, it is bewildering all the souls. But Krishna, you're always staying above it. You're transcendental to your external potency. But this Yoga Maya is so amazing. This Yoga Maya, I've heard of it, and it is able to even bewilder you, Krishna. So what is it then? I would like to see it. And Krishna says, okay, it's fine. I will show you. You just wait patiently, and you will see. And so Markandeya Rishi, he hears this, and he thinks, fine, okay, I will wait. And so he continues his meditation, being a Rishi, and he's very much absorbed in his sadhana. And then the Maha Pralaya happens. The great dissolution, and everywhere is being flooded. It is a very tumultuous time. And with all this great flooding around him, he thinks, oh, well, I never got to see the potency of Yogamaya. Now is the Maha Pralaya. What will happen? And so he is floating in these waters, as the whole universe is about to come to an end. And as he is floating, he sees at one point, in a little leaf, from the banyan tree. From the banyan tree, there is a leaf. And in this banyan leaf, there is a sweet little boy. And this sweet little boy, he's staying still on this leaf, even though there is all these waters everywhere. And this boy, he is having very dark skin. And he is very beautiful. And seeing this, the Rishi, he realizes, well, this is Krishna. This is the little child Krishna. But this Krishna, he is sucking on his foot, on one of his toes. He has one of his toes, because it is a little child Krishna he's able to do, and he is sucking on one of his toes. And he's very confused. But then he realizes and he remembers, of course, Krishna said he would show me his Yoga Maya potency. Because at this point, this little child Krishna, he is thinking, all my devotees, they're constantly wanting to have darshan of my lotus feet. They're always trying to serve my lotus feet. Everyone is always looking for the lotus feet of Krishna. This is the goal of where everyone wants to go. It must be something amazing. But they're at the end of my legs all the time. I'm not seeing anything amazing. I'm looking at them and I'm not seeing anything spectacular. So what is so special about them? So this little child Krishna, he says, maybe they taste nice. Maybe that is the sweetness that people are talking about. And so he takes the toe and he puts it into his mouth, and as a little child he begins sucking his toe. And like this, he is bewildered by the Yoga Maya potency. Very sweetly, he is curious. What is it that the devotees are always glorifying about my lotus feet? And doing like this, Markandeya Rishi, he sees this, and he says, finally I have seen the power of Yoga Maya. And that spot is where Jagannatha Puri is. On that spot, it is to be considered Jagannatha Puri exists. However, some people may ask the question, well, that was just before, that was at the Maha Pralaya, that means it left. How could that be the birth of Jagannatha Puri? How could Jagannatha Puri be born at that moment if this is when the whole universe, the Maha Pralaya, the great dissolution, the whole universe is getting destroyed? How could this be the case? But we know Jagannatha Puri is a Nitya Dham. Certain things are Nitya in spiritual life. They are constantly there. Nrsimha Chaturdasi is one of those. Even before Nrsimha Dev appeared, Prahlad Maharaj in his previous life, it is said he was a person who was very addicted to prostitutes. And he was constantly lusting after them. However, at one point, in his complete infatuation with these prostitutes, he accidentally observed Nrsimha Chaturdasi. On that day, he accidentally fasted because he was so absorbed thinking about them. And because of that accidental observation, instantly he was purified and became that great devotee that we knew. That is how he was qualified to become our great Prahlad Maharaj in his next birth. Even though Nrsimha Dev had not yet appeared, but Nrsimha Chaturdasi is eternal. Even before the manifestation and after, its potency is still there. Same with the Damodarashtakam. Even though it is in the Puranas, which are Smriti Shastra, which are Shastras that are remembered, it is said that this one is, that this text, the Damodarashtakam, is eternal. The Smriti Shastras, every time they're written, every time Bhagavatam is written, every time Mahabharata is written, every time Ramayana is written, maybe there are some changes, some things are slightly different each time. The Shruti Shastra, like the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, they are syllable by syllable the same every single time. But the Smriti Shastra, even though they are as authoritative as the Shruti Shastra, they are sometimes written differently. However, Damodarashtakam is not. It is constantly the same. It is Nitya. So, some things they stay eternally. And Jagannath Puri is one of them. So, this is a very special dham. And Sachi Mata, she is saying something very special about it. She is saying that it is to be considered that Navadvip and Jagannath Puri, they are two rooms in the same house. So there is something very special because Navadvip is not different to Vrindavan. So there is some connection between these three dhams. There are many dhams that are mentioned in Shastra. However, we know that Vrindavan is the highest. And Navadvip, in turn, is also the highest because it is non-different to it. But the actual position of Jagannath Puri is a little harder to ascertain. Because in the same way, again, Prabhupada says at one point, all these three places are to be considered like different rooms of the same house. They are all that same dham. Vrindavan, Navadvip, and Jagannath Puri. They are all the same place. But in the same way that in a house, you do different things in different rooms. The bedroom, the kitchen, and the living room, they are all part of the house, but there are different things. What you do in your bedroom, you hopefully don't do in your kitchen. And what you do in your kitchen, you hopefully don't do in your bedroom. So because of this, the different rooms, they have different purposes and they have different moods. So these three rooms in the house, in this one house, we can consider these three rooms we have of Jagannath Puri, we have of Vrindavan, and we have the room of Navadvip. These three rooms, each one is having a different purpose. We know in Vrindavan, the purpose is madhurya, sweetness. We know because of course, other dhams they have madhurya, but they do not have madhurya, sweetness, so overwhelmingly. We read in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami is describing that Mathura and Dwarka, maybe they have some madhurya, but it's mixed with Aishwarya. Because these are the three categories normally given. These are rooms outside of this house. These are other houses, which are places like Dwarka. This is in Aishwarya, which is in opulence. Being in opulence and madhurya. So it is Aishwarya and madhurya. And if we have only Aishwarya, only opulence, then we have the regular Vaikuntha planets with Narayan. However, Vrindavan, there is a lot of Aishwarya present. It is not that there is no Aishwarya. But the Aishwarya, it is like medicine sometimes when a child does not want to eat medicine, the parent will cover the medicine with sugar. They will immerse it in a lot of sugar and they will get the child to eat the candy or the sugar, and then inadvertently the child will also eat the medicine, even though they do not realize they've eaten the medicine. In the same way, Vrindavan, there's lots of Aishwarya, but the madhurya, it is covering it. The madhurya is covering it so much that it is no longer noticeable. So we have found there are moods of Aishwarya, of madhurya, but then what is the mood of Navadvip? Why is Navadvip a separate room in the house? Why is it not the same room as Vrindavan? And the reason for this is because the purpose of Navadvip is Audarya, mercy. Navadvip is defined by mercy. Here, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he appeared, and Mahaprabhu, as we know, there is no one more merciful than him. There is no one more merciful. We were discussing so many times in CC. There is no more mercy possible than what Mahaprabhu is doing. So Navadvip, it is the dham of Audarya. But the question needs to be asked, then what is Jagannath Puri? It is the separate room. It is not that Sachi Mata said they are the same place. She said they are the two rooms in the same house. So what room is this? What is the room of Jagannath Puri? And in order to answer this, there's a few considerations. And it will tie in as well to a further question we can ask. Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go to Jagannath Puri? Because of course, we know Sachi Mata, she has asked him to. She has said, in order to not upset me, please do this. But this again is an external consideration. We know there are always external and internal considerations. And furthermore, maybe one can say, maybe there doesn't need to be an internal consideration. But in Caitanya Bhagavat, Caitanya Caritamrita presents the order like this. But Caitanya Bhagavat, it says that when Mahaprabhu took sannyas from Keshava Bharati, then he asked him one request. He said, before discussing with Sachi Mata, he said, may I please dwell in Jagannath Puri, independent of Sachi Mata's desire. So the question then can be asked, why? Clearly Mahaprabhu, obviously for his pastime he has incorporated this as well, but clearly Mahaprabhu has a separate, independent desire to go to Jagannath Puri. But then again, what is the mood? What is the purpose of going there? Some people, they will say, Jagannath Puri is like Dwarka. Because actually Keshava Bharati, in Vraj Lila, he is Akrura. And in the same way that Akrura, he took Krishna outside of Vrindavan to go to Dwarka, in the same way they say Keshava Bharati, by giving sannyas, instead of giving sannyas, Akrura brought with the chariot. In the same way, Keshava Bharati, by giving sannyas, took Mahaprabhu out of Navadvip and brought him into the Dwarka of Jagannath Puri. Some people will say like this, sometimes. And so this is one understanding. So people will say Jagannath Puri is again like Dwarka, Aishwarya and Madhurya. And maybe this is the case. However, this leads to some confusions. Because as we were discussing in the overall flow of Mahaprabhu Lila, Mahaprabhu, he does leave at one point Jagannath Puri and he goes to Vrindavan. So he's gone now to Vrindavan because again, Vrindavan is the goal. Vrindavan is the whole point. Vrindavan is the focal element of the devotees' lives. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, and nor do his great devotees who we worship. The great devotees are not so interested in Dwarka. Dwarka is not the main focal point of our rasa, of our bhav. Dwarka is not the central point. Vrindavan is. So, if Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, then great. He has gone from Dwarka and he has gone to somewhere higher now. This is what we would expect. And then we would expect that Mahaprabhu would stay in Vrindavan. He is staying in Vrindavan because he has finally reached the point, the goal. Actually, though, we see, what does Mahaprabhu do? He leaves Vrindavan and he returns back to Jagannath Puri. And then in Jagannath Puri, he is manifesting the Madhya Lila pastimes where he's tasting the highest things. So it doesn't make too much sense for Jagannath Puri to be like Dwarka. Furthermore, all of Mahaprabhu's associates, who were all great devotees, who were not under the rule, who were not put under the regulation of needing to take sannyas in a dham, to dwell in their renunciation in a dham, the majority of them did not go to Vrindavan with Mahaprabhu. The majority stayed in Jagannath Puri. The majority stayed there constantly. Why would all these great devotees, why would they stay in the place that is like Dwarka? If they could leave with Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan. Maybe one could say, oh, they had to stay wherever Mahaprabhu was. Because wherever Mahaprabhu was, that was the best place for them, being devotees of Mahaprabhu. But then we can simply ask, why then didn't they follow him to Vrindavan when he went to Vrindavan? Why did they not experience the highest place there then? So then again, we've got the question again. So what is it then? If it is not this, if it is not Dwarka again, then what is the mood of Jagannath Puri? And to understand Jagannath Puri Dham, we have to understand something of Jagannath. We'll discuss a little more about the nature of Jagannath when we get to the chapter on Ratha Yatra. But just a little point should be made. That Jagannath, it is said that Krishna says he has two main forms in Kali Yuga. He has a water form and a form of wood. The form of wood is Jagannath and the form of water is the Ganga. So Jagannath, he is especially dear for Kali Yuga. And he is Jagannath. He is very merciful and therefore he is the Lord of the whole world. Because of this, he is engaging everyone constantly. There are many moods that are found in Jagannath. We know in the Snan Yatra, which we are going to be celebrating very soon, we know that often elephants are used as part of the decorations. We're seeing right here some elephants. And there's a few various pastimes given as to why elephants are incorporated. One of them is that Jagannath, in order to show that he reciprocates with everyone out of his mercy, there are Muslims who are devoted to Jagannath. There are Buddhists who believe that Jagannath is a form of Buddha. The Shankaracharya of Jagannath Puri, every year Ratha Yatra, he is one of the central figures in performing the Ratha Yatra. The Ramanandis, the devotees of Ramchandra, they will see Jagannath and they will say, this is Ramchandra. The Shri Vaishnavas will see and they'll say, this is Narayan in front of me. And so, the form of the elephant, there's different pastimes given, but one that is said is, actually there was one Ganesh Bhakta, whose Ishtadev was Ganesh. And he was constantly worshipping Ganesh, and he heard one devotee came and was speaking the glories of Jagannath. And hearing the glories of Jagannath, this Ganesh Bhakta, he said, this is very good. I will go have darshan of this Jagannath. And he went. And he went very easily. He was a Brahmin, so it was not so hard for him. And going in, he saw and he thought, this is a very nice form, but if you are truly the Supreme Lord, you should come in the form of Ganesh. And so Jagannath, because he is so merciful that he will reciprocate with everyone. No one embodies ye yatham mam prapadyante more than Jagannath. he appeared dressed like an elephant, in an elephant-like form, in order to satisfy that desire, mercifully, of that Brahmin who had approached him, wanting to see Ganesh. So this is one of the reasons why the tradition of dressing Ganesh up in that form, not Ganesh, dressing Jagannath up in that form like an elephant, has arisen. So we see Jagannath, he is reciprocating to all sorts of moods. All sorts of moods he is reciprocating to. And therefore it is said in Shastra that actually Jagannath, Puri, is a combination of various moods. We find Aishvarya. We find opulence. Because yes, there is he is Jagannath, the ruler of the universe. That is very opulent. But we also find Audarya, mercy. There is so much mercy in Jagannath Puri. Even if we do not for now think about Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we were speaking earlier on when we were discussing Madhya Lila about Patita Pavana, that great form of Jagannath who is so merciful. We know Jagannath is such a merciful form, and Patita Pavana is even more merciful, the embodiment of Jagannath's mercy. Audarya is coming so strongly in Jagannath Puri. Furthermore, Mahaprabhu is giving his mercy also in Jagannath Puri. Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya is saved from his Mayavad tendencies there. It is there that Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya is preached to by Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu completely resolves and refutes all of his false conceptions. So Audarya is present there as well. However, Madhurya also is present. Madhurya, or sweetness, is there as well. Gita Govinda, one of the most rasic texts, came only with a meditation of Jagannath. Jayadev Goswami, it said, was meditating on Jagannath a lot while composing that text. Furthermore, we were speaking earlier in the Ratha Yatra, Mahaprabhu, he is experiencing that full mood of the gopis. He is experiencing that full rasic mood, their pains of separation, which is very much, again, that Madhurya Ras. And therefore, that Madhurya is also present there. So all of these moods, they are present. Why? Because Jagannath, he is reciprocating with all the moods in Kali Yuga. So what is the mood then? What is the separation of all these three rooms? It is their purposes and their mood. And the mood of Jagannath Puri is Aishvarya, Audarya, and Madhurya all together. However, this Aishvarya, as we were discussing, and I won't go over it too much because we discussed it when we were talking about Ratha Yatra, this Aishvarya does not contradict the Madhurya. Aishvarya normally acts to contradict Madhurya. It acts, the opulence of Krishna normally makes somebody forget his sweetness. But the same as the gopis seeing Krishna on his chariot, their Madhurya love, their love for Krishna in sweetness was intensified. In the same way, this is an Aishvarya which can support Madhurya, an opulence which can support sweetness. So we can understand it like this. So it is having Madhurya in there, even though it does not seem to fully have, even though it doesn't seem to always have that. In Vrindavan, there is no confusion. No one goes to Radha Ramanji and says, oh, this is a deity of Shiva, or oh, this is a deity of Buddha. There will be no controversy or distinction in views. No one goes to any of the temples there, to Radha Gopinath in Vrindavan, and says, okay, some people say this is Shiva, some people say this is Ganesh, some people say this is Buddha. You will not find this variety because it is entirely in the mood of Madhurya. But in Jagannath Puri, because Jagannath is so merciful, he is reciprocating all these moods. So this is the mood that is there. But again, we should ask the question, why did Mahaprabhu go there? Yes, he will find some Madhurya, and yes, it is to be considered equal to Vrindavan, but then why? Why did he go there? Why did he not just go to Vrindavan? You could say because of the pains of separation from Sachimata, but surely there is also an internal consideration. And there is. Because Jagannath Puri Dham, we know there are four dhams that are normally listed as the great dhams, the Char Dham. We have heard of those? There is Badrinath, there is, I'll write them up. There is Badrinath, Rameshwaram, Jagannath Puri, and Dwarka. These are the 4 great dhams. The Char Dham. And each one corresponds to a different yuga. So the main one for Satya Yuga, it is Badrinath. This is where Badrik Ashram is. And therefore we hear about it often. It's a great place of meditation where people retire to. Then next is Rameshwaram, which is a place where Ramchandra, he prayed to Shiva. Then third is Dwarka. And then last is Jagannath Puri. And each one of these corresponds to a different yuga. This one is for Satya Yuga, this one is for Treta Yuga, this one is for Dwapar Yuga, and this one is for Kali Yuga. Each dham is specifically intended for one of these. As we know, Badrinath is such a great place of meditation, so it very much fits Satya Yuga. Rameshwaram is where Ramchandra went, and of course Ramchandra advented in Treta Yuga. Dwarka is where Krishna ruled, so we know, and Krishna ruled in Dwapar Yuga. And Jagannath Puri is where Krishna has appeared in that wooden form for Kali Yuga. And an interesting point, however, is with all 4 of these, is that this one, Badrinath, you can find in Vrindavan. You can find a place which is not different to it. It's called Adi Badri. And it's a little bit north of Vrindavan, but it's still within the Vrindavan area. And in there, you can find, it is to be considered the source of where Badrinath comes from. Rameshwaram and Dwarka, they are found in different forms in Kamyavan, in Vrindavan. But Jagannath Puri, there is no form of Jagannath Puri in Vrindavan. All these 3 are present in Vrindavan, but Jagannath Puri is not. So then again, we can ask ourselves, does this have something to do with Mahaprabhu taking his dwelling there? And it does. Because when Mahaprabhu goes to Vrindavan, yes, he will taste very many high things, but he's been there before. Krishna, he was there before with the peacock feather in his hair and the flute in his hands. One poet says that when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Ramchandra's bow fell out of his hand, Krishna's flute fell out of his hand, and instead that very same hand grabbed the sannyas danda. And so, being there, he is reminded a little. Vrindavan is Vrindavan with Krishna. But Jagannath Puri is called Gupta Vrindavan. It is a hidden Vrindavan. The glory of Jagannath Puri is that this is a place where this Madhurya is present. It is Shri Kshetra. Gaur Govinda Maharaj would often say that the Shri and Shri Kshetra, even though it is taken to mean maybe a glory or maybe Lakshmi, actually this refers to Radharani. It is still a place of the great moods of the gopis. It is still a place where Madhurya is tasted. However, it is a place where Krishna can, or Mahaprabhu rather, can taste this mood without being reminded of Krishna. Jagannath Puri is Vrindavan in a sense without Krishna. Of course it is Vrindavan with Krishna because it has Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in it. But it is a place where Krishna himself can experience Vrindavan without the objection of the knowledge of him already having had been there. So like this, it is, and furthermore, even though it is having this mood, there is another way, another mood, another aspect that Jagannath Puri is sometimes described as having. I'll go a tiny bit over time, but I'll wrap up soon. Jagannath Puri, even though it is in this scheme of Adarya, Madhurya and Aishwarya, considered Aishwarya, Adarya, Madhurya, Dham, it is sometimes also called Vipralamba Kshetra. It is the Kshetra of the field, the holy place of Vipralamba, of separation. It is non-different to Vrindavan. It's said that the Prema Dhara, the river of Prem that flows through Vrindavan, flows through Jagannath Puri as well. But Vipralambha is what Mahaprabhu came to taste. The pains of separation is what Mahaprabhu came to taste. And Gaur Govinda Maharaj would always say that this river, this Prema Dhara, that is passing through, it has two embankments, two shores. There is that of Vraj, and there is that of Jagannath Puri. Each one of these is its own embankment. But this, the embankment of Vraj, is that of union, of samyog. But the embankment of Jagannath Puri is that of viyog, of vipralambha, of separation. And therefore Jagannath Puri, it is the embankment of separation. It is the side of that river of prem in which those moods come out the most strongly. Again, Ratha Yatra is a constant meditation on this. And therefore, Mahaprabhu has gone there for that internal purpose of being able to taste the mood of the gopis, in order to taste the mood of Radharani. Because not only of this aspect, that he did not want to be reminded of the Krishna Lila, that he wanted to be able to experience Gupta Vrindavan, hidden Vrindavan, a Vrindavan where it's not jumping in his face that I was Krishna before. But furthermore, he wants to taste the height of that love of the gopis, which is found not in the embankment of union, but in the embankment of separation. So, tomorrow, obviously there won't be CC class, we'll be having a very fun time with Snan Yatra. But then we will continue on Sunday, and we might discuss a little bit more about Jagannath Puri Dham, and then we'll keep on going with the other pastimes in Caitanya Caritamrita. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur ki, Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki,
Shri Toshan Krsna Prabhu ki,
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namo Vishnu Putaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radha Govinda Goswanti Namine Namaste Prabhupada Devam Gauravani Pachayani Vishesha Shanyavani Kamya Jala Nishtahari